Hello. We get this question a lot
Yes.
when we work with our students and with candidates, private clients. How do I prepare for an interview? What is it? What does the hiring manager need to know about me?
Yes.
And we were just talking on a call recently with someone who said they tried to memorize every possible answer to every possible question.
Can't do that.
Because at the end of the day, there are really just three key things that an employer needs to know about you to make sure that you're hireable.
And what they're trying to assess when they're talking to
Yeah,
you, right?
yes, yep.
Yeah. So the first one is you are who you say you are, right?
This sounds so logical.
Right.
But I do a lot of interviewing in my life, and I meet many candidates who will have statements on their resume that cannot be backed up by their experience,
Right.
or on their LinkedIn. So one of the tricks that I use as an interviewer, and again, this is for later in the process. It's not an entry level interview.
Right.
It's later in the or not
It's
a
the
recruiter.
hiring manager we're
Yeah,
talking to.
yes, exactly. I want to have you be able to show me an example of something you say in your
Yes.
resume. So you need to be prepared to defend everything you say. If you write a really bold statement at the top of your resume, which we teach you how to do, make sure everything you say about yourself can be defended in the experience. Likewise on your LinkedIn, you write a lively about section. I'm really excited about you. And I'm going to ask a question, and Murphy's Law would say, I'm going to ask the question about the one thing that you kind of fudged. So I, as a hiring manager, number one, I need to know that you are and can do what you say you are and can do.
Right. So you want to be prepared with stories that are going to illustrate that are going to make that clear for that.
And you also want to be really careful when you are writing about yourself,
Yes.
to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have interest in and the capacity to learn new things.
So this is especially important now.
Yes.
I was just writing something recently about Google, Amazon. The qualities that they're starting to look for now are things that 10 years ago we would have laughed about: empathy, humility, teamwork, curiosity, ability to learn new things, agility, because we don't know what the work landscape is going to look like. Things are changing so quickly.
Right.
I was just reading yesterday. It was a job that you would never expect to be replaced by technology: coding.
Right. Yeah.
It was just a big article, and I think it was either the Times or the Wall Street Journal, about how it used to be that if you got a coding degree, you were set.
You were, yeah.
But now the AI bots and programs can now do that entry level coding.
Right.
So you as a candidate have to be able to learn new things quickly, and you need to be able to show that curiosity and that ability in the interview, because that will be an essential hiring point for me as the
So
manager.
Susan, when you are interviewing, what are ways that you can illustrate that you can spotlight that for a hiring manager?
We just talked about this today on a call.
Yeah.
Just dropping in stories about you learning something new, asking interesting questions of them about not just what's happening now, but what's happening in the future.
Right.
Asking what kinds of investments are made for professional development.
Yes.
Do you bring speakers in? Do you pay your employees or tuition if they're taking graduate level courses? Those are the kinds of questions you can ask, or statements you can make, stories you can tell to show that you're curious.
That you're a learner.
Yeah.
That you're a learner. Okay. And this last one is, does this person fit well, and can they contribute positively to the culture that we have here, to this company, this organization?
And there are kind of two pieces to that. One is, we know now that average tenure is getting shorter and shorter as younger generations join the workforce. I think it's somewhere around 20 or 22 months right now. So if someone's going to be there for a while, I need to know, to that second point, that they can get here and learn stuff quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
And that they're excited to learn new things. And then B, that they're going to be a positive addition to the culture. So, for example, if you are someone who's really likes, let's say you've come from a big company where you've had an admin assistant, where you've had a lot of support, where there's one person running the tech library, another person running marketing, another person running sales, and you have access to all those resources, and you like working in that kind of environment. But my environment is a small tech startup, where there are no lines. We're all doing everything. That will come out in an interview. I want someone who's going to be comfortable in this culture. Now, if I'm hiring someone from corporate, they can express that by telling me. One of the things that I have not liked about this large corporate environment is that we're kind of siloed. And I really have interest in learning things from different departments. I love the idea of getting my hands on multiple things and wearing different hats. So that's something that's important, kind of really knowing as the interviewee, what's that culture like?
Well, I was just going to say, it really does make the case for doing your research as the job seeker. am I going to have a values rub with this organization? Because if you are, and you know that out of the gate, that's probably not the company that you should be interviewing with, just because it's not going to work. It's not going to be a fit for you. It is going to be a rub for you. And doing your research to understand that and know that you always say this, you are shopping too when you're interviewing, right? So,
a couple things on that, because it's really easy to read a company website and the culture sounds wonderful.
You got
a call just 5 minutes ago, students like, well, it's not really exactly the way they pitched it.
Yes, yeah.
You have to talk, as Kelly said, to employees there. I mean, if they still have an old-fashioned receptionist, what's it feel like when you walk in the door if you're having a physical interview? Yeah. If not, if all your interviews are on Zoom, ask. It is perfectly acceptable for you to ask later in the interview or even post-offer to talk to someone on the team that has a similar job, just to feel out that culture that's really important. Another piece to culture is personality. And in this one, again, to your point about your shopping too, be true to your personality. So if I'm saying, oh, this team, it's wild. I mean, they're like, they go out 2 nights a week. We are working late. We're going.
You are an introvert, likes to read and drink tea.
Exactly. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be that person.
Yes.
Don't present yourself as someone you're not. Because at the same time that the hiring manager wants to make sure that you are a right cultural fit for them, it has to be the right cultural fit for you.
Absolutely.
So it's really that two-way dynamic. And what you want to present is your authentic self. And the thing is, the best teams are made up of really diverse people.
Right.
You don't want to have one age group only. We're actually doing a big webinar for Samsung in January just about this. Multi-generational teams, different styles, different expectations, different work experience and work style. That's what makes it a better team better. So even though I might be pitching this team as we have so much more going out all the time, I say, well, I might be the designated driver because that's not my thing. That's okay. Because I think the fourth thing that we didn't say is authenticity.
Absolutely.
I want someone who is showing up as their real self. And you can tell when someone's faking.
I think that goes with you are who you say you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So there you have it. Things that a hiring manager wants to learn about you when it comes to the interviewing process. If you like what you heard today, you can learn more about our company at www.preparetolaunchu.com. And thanks for listening.